Yay!
Justin in the red.
All of my darkness of addiction, I witnessed something very remarkable. We were addicts stripped of our labels, only to carry but one. Human beings in the midst of struggle. We were no longer divided by titles, no longer divided by race, sexuality, religion, or our preconceived notions. We simply became human beings struggling to survive together as a community. I believe that if a torrent of darkness can bring people together in such a way, then so too can our light.
During my last 15 years of living in Canada, I was blessed because I didn't personally face any discrimination. Not at school, not at work, not in the mall. The unconditional love and the care support that I received from the people of Canada, that made me feel part of it. Without that love, my family and I would not be able to start our new happy home here. That's what I believe. Canada is diverse. Canada doesn't discriminate. Canada doesn't know how to hate. And all I want to say is, this is what we as Canadians have in our heart and souls.
Community. I faced adversity many times. Overcoming adversity is one of the biggest challenges that I faced. What helped me was connecting with my culture on a spiritual level and helping others in the process. I truly believe that my culture and my children saved my life and helped me leave a situation that I suffered for many years. Also learning from others and hearing their inspiring stories.
Being an Indigenous person and working in the Indigenous community and working for Aboriginal organizations, there really is a lot of discrimination within our own organizations, because when I started this program, not once since I've been working with youth in the past 10 years has my sexuality been brought into the workplace, has it been brought up. I was basically recently told that I was in the wrong and that I couldn't do this and I wasn't supposed to mention my workplace, and I actually stood up for myself within that organization, and it went all the way to the level of the board of directors, and they did identify that there was like a human rights case. They did identify that they were in the wrong. They apologized. And I just wanted to basically create awareness, because we have to talk when we are being discriminated against. We have to speak out and we have to act. We cannot let that behavior go on. Can't let it go behind closed doors. So
does not value justice, peace, and human rights. And it's equally easy to find so many people who trample justice, peace, and human rights. It is as if such ideals are restricted to one's own race and religion, gender identity, or sexual orientation. So far as others are concerned, they are given cheap slogans. All lives matter, straight pride, white history month, men's rights. God has a plan for you, Jesus loves you. Islam gave human rights 1400 years ago. Talk is cheap. So either what we hold to be just and true is just and true for everybody, or we are just another supremacist clan.
Being a parent is probably one of the hardest jobs I think anyone who here is a parent can attest to. Parent is in relative, guardian, blood relative, adoptive parent, any kind of parenting. And one thing that is so exciting about being a parent right now is teaching our children and confronting our own privileges about what we think is and isn't real. Teaching our children empathy is probably one of the most most crucial things I think any of us can do. Christmas 2014, the Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper, was asked about a missing and murdered Indigenous women inquiry. With his response of indifference, well, it's not really high on our radar, to be honest. These are strong messages to an Indigenous woman in politics. I want to acknowledge our Muslim sisters who were targeted with their headscarves in the last election repeatedly in a time that has now caused racial and sexist divide. We have seen our sisters being targeted nationally. I was actually really grateful for the guy with the hair talking about real change that would proudly call himself a feminist. Hard to imagine that would be a hard sell, but I can personally assure you as a liberal it was. I want to acknowledge Rachel Notley, our premier. She was attacked in Edmonton Journal with a cartoon depicting a farmer stabbing her in the back with a pitchfork, with a caption from a farmer saying, "Oops," and it said, "Another unfortunate farm accident." But there were these moments of hope and moments of resistance that I also seen. I watched 4 women from Idle No More, an Indigenous-led movement, a female-led movement that inspired a national outcry, that inspired everybody globally. I watched a fierce, stunning Indigenous woman use her platform as Mrs. Universe to encourage all Indigenous to go and vote. Vote out the man that wouldn't have missing and murdered Indigenous women on his radar. I think
we police by consent in this country. And it's the consent of the people here and the people in this community that give us our ability to do what we do. Without legitimacy, we can't do anything and we aren't successful. We are a part of this community. We support this community and all communities within the city of Edmonton. And as I look at all of what's going on and I see all of this happening in this world, I am so grateful that Chevi invited us here, because it'd be very, very easy to let the police not be here, to do things without the police, without our friends in corrections. We are a part of this community, and when policing started, there was an individual named Robert Peel who started policing basically, and he said, police are the public and the public are the police. The only difference is that the police get paid for public protection. We are all in this together. When hate language comes out, it's not always a criminal offense, and that's sad, but what it is we need as a community to start making it wrong. We need as a community to start standing up for one another, and we need as a community to be open and honest to each other.
I'm really pleased to be here, and I'm pleased that you invited me, Chevi, because you are really a testament to bravery. I mean, a lot of people who were assaulted the way you did would have probably turned tail and just maybe wanted to leave town. I mean, it was an awful thing that happened to you. And it is so brave of you to take that horrible event in your life and create an event like this and literally take hatred and turn it into hope.
It's because of leaders like Chevi that we are making so much progress in Canadian society to be a more accepting and inclusive country. And today, the 5th annual Hate to Hope rally, there's much to be proud of even in just the last year. We're very clear that our Liberal government believes that a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian, regardless of the color of your skin, the religion you choose to follow, the person whom you love, or the gender with which you identify. We've made strides towards inclusivity by appointing a gender-balanced cabinet for the first time, by introducing Bill C-16, which will ensure transgender Canadians the full protection of the law by enshrining gender identity in the Canadian Human Rights Act and under the hate crimes provision of the Criminal Code of Canada.
You know, I'll hope that I can get your forgiveness for bringing just a little bit of brevity to the event with my feathers. I was at the Carrier West Parade this afternoon, and it's something like this. I know that, you know, we have people like Chevi who are amazing at being the face at the front of something so important like this, but others like me have to put, you know, a big fan of feathers on their heads to really come out and be the best version of me that I can be. And that's what we try to do here, is we try to encourage other people to be themselves. That's what diversity is, that no matter if you are gay or straight or transgender, that we're all special, we're all unique, one day, that amazing day when we can actually look past that and we can just see each other and ourselves as unique. So it is important to do events like this where we come and we support each other and all of the people that came before you and the people that will come in the future to continue to fight for these rights, to make sure that people are not discriminated against. And it is important to make sure that we are out here and showing our solidarity, but we must make sure that we don't just educate, we also need to legislate. We need to make sure that we pass laws like we just passed in the fall, where we actually make it illegal to discriminate against people for their gender identity and their gender expression.
Hate is a disease, and it's affecting our communities and planet in a way that we all may not really realize. It fuels global conflict, it fuels migration, it fuels much of the devastation around our planet today. For it is xenophobia, this fear of the other, that justifies the use of force, the sale of arms, and so much more. Hate is also insidious. It is not just a global problem, as we all here know here today. It is right here in our own community.
We live in a society where people cannot survive if they are not judging the person next to you. Take a look at the person to your right, to the person to your left. Some people look at you and say, if you're gay, it's a sin. If you're bisexual or transgender, you're told that you're confused. If you're overweight, you're nasty. If a person dresses up, some tell them that they're conceited. If a person speaks their mind, some would call you a bitch. If you don't say anything at all, some are saying you're complacent and you don't care. If you cry, some people will call you a drama queen. We can't do anything in society without being criticized. I'm a proud parent of 2 wonderful children. When speaking with my 11-year-old son the other day, he told me, why does people just go and look at x-rays of different people? If you do, you can't tell what their race is, you can't tell their sexual orientation, their gender identity or expression. They're just all people. I believe that Stephen Colbert was correct when he recently stated, ignorance breeds fear, fear breeds hate, hate breeds violence, education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, hope breeds